Hello everyone, my name is WalStreet, and today we are here to watch George Carlin on birth control pills. The Dick Cavett Show. This was recommended to me by 428 Shades. My views on birth control is this. Have it. We have too many fucking humans in this world. And we have horny ass teenagers, and we're slowly starting to get horny ass elementary kids. And no, it's not because we're teaching sex young. It's because we're not teaching kids sex young in a world where sex is everywhere. Come on guys. Keep up with the times or we're going to have 6-year-olds having babies. Come on. Birth control pills are necessary. Condoms are necessary. Denims are necessary. Abortions are necessary. Come on, guys. I'm not talking to everyone. I'm talking to the hardcore Christians and the idiots who didn't understand biology.
That was terrific.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's nice. Like I say, it's smaller here, and you're able to. It feels like a little club.
It's a nice little room to work in, as they say in the trade.
Absolutely right.
I haven't seen you actually in the flesh since, I don't know when.
Last time I would remember would be that TV Guide luncheon we talked about a minute ago.
That's right. That was really funny. The three of us appeared on a gruesome kind of event. It could be gruesome if they didn't work it right. They get 3 comics up, one after the other, on a dais of famous people.
There were about 40 really famous people.
Yeah. And when you're one of the 3 comics, you think that you're going to...
Whoever's in charge of the audio mixing is terribly missing the lavalier mics from the overhead. I legit thought my headphones just broke because of how bad the sound was. God. Anyways, back to this.
going to be the one to bomb.
2 out of 3, right? And you'll be number 1.
And they'll say, well, 2 of them made it, but...
It worked out okay.
We did all right. We did all right. I remember you started out at the very beginning of it, and you said something that got a very small laugh, and there was a gavel there, and you picked it up for order, even though there was not disorder. And this got very... I remember these little things.
I remembered. Yeah, I did my news, sports, and weather,
That's right.
which has been a mainstay.
Well, you were saying that there was something you might have done there if you'd had more time just then.
Oh,
You
yeah,
should talk
well-
about something else that you didn't get to.
Birth control pills I kind of include in the drug scene because it's like, you take them. And by the way, it's nice for the drug companies to let the gals in on the research, isn't it? Because yes, they're going to find out whether they're safe by trying them on people who buy them at the store. Maybe when everyone who's used them gets to be 63 and one leg gets shorter than the other, they'll call them in. We better have a look at them. Anyway, it's that birth control pills are still on prescription. That's the premise. You need a note to do it. That's really very strange. And you not only need a note, you have to go to one person to get the note, and then you have to bring it to another person. Everybody's really in on it. It's ladies must feel silly going, here's my note. Oh, that's what you're doing at home.
Yes.
And
I mean, that is really bizarre because you really only want your doctor and your partner really knowing about your sex life. You don't want your pharmacist and 3 other people knowing. Can we make sex not a taboo topic? Can we treat sex like a natural thing? Because that's what we have to do to keep our species alive. It's not sin. It's not evil unless it's taken through, not through optional, not through consent before marriage, by rape. That's the only way it's taken. Can we just treat sex as how it is? 2 people going at it. It isn't this dangerous, sinful thing. Unless you're not wearing protection, but my school was not taught that. And I wonder why my high school has so many parents before the junior year of high school. We need to treat sex better. Cause guess what? Pornhub does not do the trick. S videos don't do the trick. It's not all about the guy. It's about the female. Pointing out only works some of the time. Some people are really slow with it. Can we just do that? Make condoms Not this creepy, scary thing for young people to do. Make birth control pills. Okay. It's 2021, not 1865.
Just think that when birth controls pills come off prescription, that they'll have catchy, cute names, such as the patent medicines have. Names to help you know what the product does. They'll need names like Pregnant and Embryo. Here's one for the gals. Nary a carry. Nay, family way. Mom bomb. Here's a real man's product. Inconceivable. And I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with one called I Kid You Not, because they're just, they're phrase makers, and they're good at that.
And an amusing little compact.
Oh, I'm sure they'll have Christmas cartons for them and special sales, and they'll be, they'll probably be at the cash register with the mints there. Take your change in birth control pills. Sure.
You've given a lot of thought to the problem.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel old-fashioned that when we must be about the same age?
I'm 34.
Yeah, well, then we are almost exactly the same age. When you were in school, was there such a thing as any talk of drugs? Had anybody heard of it?
Well, not in grammar school. There was the word. There was the word dope, which we used to play around. I lived near Columbia University. I lived in between Columbia University and Harlem, in a kind of a section called Morningside Heights, where there was an Irish neighborhood which was not being Irish much anymore. You know, it was going away.
Yeah.
And I was like, they built projects, and they put Columbia kept expanding, kicking people out, and because of that fact, we used to play in where Columbia's Pupin laboratories would throw out all their garbage. It was a great place to play because there was all this chemical stuff and laboratory equipment and stuff they didn't want, and our mothers always told us, don't ever take anything that's there because they'll be dope, and we just knew that word dope.
Dope, yeah.
That's all I grew up with. But then in high school, even in the 50s, in the early 50s, in 52, I got into grass at 14. It was partly because of the neighborhood.
14?
Yeah. I mean, that was the first time I had any. I didn't really keep any around then.
Yeah.
But,
well, how did it come about?
One of the guys first in school, one of the guys in high school, first year or second year, got into a little and then came back to the neighborhood, and then we discovered it was also in our neighborhood, which we hadn't noticed. And we began to, dabble, fool around, use a little on the weekends, and...
That's about how it was with me. I didn't take any. I came close so many times in high school and middle school. And even in college I came close. With weed, specifically. But yeah, it was when I'm 13 years old when I realized that my neighborhood was basically a meth lab waiting to explode. As well as a heroin farm. About 4 streets over that way. Was a humongous heroin farm. Well, 5 houses was connected doing it. And about 2 to 3 streets over there was basically a whole 10 houses connected with meth. So, I just understand that one real quick what drugs were, how many types there were, and know which ones are natural, which is the only drugs I promote, and which ones are handmade, which I do not promote. I promote pot and weed. I do not promote crack and heroin. Meth, I also don't promote. But yeah, I also knew a lot of people in middle school who did it. And ironically enough, the ones who naturally took it became really intelligent, became real calm. They were able to control themselves. And the people who did crack and meth were the stereotypical dope heads who were psychotic.
Most of the guys who tried it stopped, for various reasons later. Some guys kept some. Out of 30 guys in the neighborhood, there's probably only 3 that still bother with grass at all. Depends on your lifestyle, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. I did a show on this the other night, and
I know.
one of the
I
men
didn't
from the
see it, but I've heard a lot of
commission
it.
was here, and the enormous number of people who just lost interest in it.
Sure.
Lose interest in it.
Because
People-
it is, just like what it is. There's nothing. Well, there are arguments you can make about it.
Yeah,
In
and
a
apparently,
certain-
and it is very bad for certain people. They established that, but not apparently not for most. But there are a few
Right.
people.
I found a lot of people have
Psychotic,
used it as a tool. I mean, if there's a way to use it and just get high and just go out and just like lie back and listen to things, maybe just goof centrally. But there's other ways to get high and do something. You get high and clean the closet. You get high and make a list of what you have to do next week. I mean, there's ways to use it to get yourself together. A lot of people would attest to that.
I don't know anybody who claims they can do any good work from it, though. I mean, any writer who claims that he can really write with it, or anybody.
I don't think you could write on it, but I.
Well, I know one man that you need to talk to. Stephen fucking King. Oh my god. Stephen King. For people who didn't know. What's it, Will? When it came to the It book. Maybe that's why he has a gangbang scene in it. Stephen King, I respect him, but God, he was a weird guy. I want to talk to him if I'm able to before he dies. Knowing my luck, he died and I just didn't keep up because I don't pay attention to the news that much. Anyways, back to this.
I think that if you were a writer, that getting high on it from time to time could have an effect on your writing, a positive effect on your writing. I think you can think of things under it which you might employ that you wouldn't otherwise.
But to actually do disciplined work, I don't know if anybody can actually do that.
Depends on the discipline.
Yeah.
What about that guy on that moon mission who saved the moon mission? Remember the long-haired guy at the laboratory around Boston? They had a thing where the abort switch, and they had to bypass the abort switch and write a new program.
Yeah.
And he wrote it like in 2 or 3 hours, and they saved the moon mission. And then the guy was interviewed later, and he said, "Oh yeah, a lot of people here do a little dope. Sure, no, yeah, I've written some pretty far-out programs on it and everything. You know."
That's right. There was.
Right.
I think they tried to cover him up quickly.
Right.
After that.
The point is, nothing is great all by itself, but used properly, I think there's some positive advantages to marijuana.
What was the thing that you talked about the other?
Anything, at least when it comes to drugs or drugs can be used in a positive way, it's all about self-control. Like, fun fact for my young people out there, because I think the older people may know this, caffeine is a drug. So every time you drink that coffee, that tea, that soda, sometimes sparkling juice, you're technically getting drugs in your system. That's why soda and sugar typically are deemed as addictive. Because you want more and more caffeine, and it takes more and more to get it. I used to be addicted to caffeine. Now I can go a full couple days without caffeine. I know people that literally need 5 Mountain Dews a day, or they're not going to be able to stay up. It's all about self-control, reliance. It's just, a lot of people just don't see that with drugs, because they're addictive. Tobacco, alcohol, easily addictive stuff, but in a self-controlled manner, you can get loopy and still be safe. Something that we should be teaching in schools. But no, let's teach B minus the square root of AC over 2A. That's more important, right? Versus things that could save lives. Just saying.
The other night, treatment of glaucoma. They think there's some research to be done in that. That's important. Well, wait a minute. We have to take a station break, and then we'll be right back.
Okay, that was it. But yeah. I wasn't expecting a talk show. Hopefully that's what Chase wanted. But this was the only thing that came up when I looked for it. Anyways. Hopefully my talks were good. I mainly just want to have conversations when this type of stuff comes up. So, I'm going to try to start doing something for the people who make it all the way to the end. What do you think should be taught in schools nowadays? What do you think is necessary nowadays to be taught to people, let's say middle school level, not elementary school, but not high school, 7th to 8th grade, around 13 to 14, what should be taught in those grade levels Because I say those are the last 2 years you can talk to a kid however you want, authoritative or relaxation-wise, and still be able to teach them before they go to high school and have to deal with young life problems like jobs and girlfriends and social issues. So what do you think? Anyways, peace.